Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today. I want to apologize for this series of videos being a little chopped up. I made one long video and it was too long and I wanted to split it up into parts. So I hope you enjoy and video to follow. Thanks everybody. Okay, so now I have to stitch this stuff down. I'm wondering if I made these too big. Maybe this is too big for that heart. Maybe I should do smaller stuff like that and then shove some of this in here. I don't know how big the hearts are on when Kate's cloths, when Kate does them in a class, teaches a class. I mean, it looks like they have a whole ton of stuff on there. So I don't know if they're using bigger hoops and bigger hearts or what. But I thought, I wasn't successful at my previous one. So I'm going to try it again, but I'll try a smaller heart because I did actually on the back of this fabric draw a much larger heart. Then I erased it and drew the heart on this side. That's why you didn't see a bigger heart when I turned it over. I don't know if I want this to be a flower. And some of them are like tucked under the other stuff. And then maybe something, I want something a little brighter in here. Maybe that fits now. Yeah, and I might save some of this other stuff for a different heart. Oh, I could get addicted to this. Oh my goodness gracious me. Yes, I could definitely get addicted to this very easily. See, sometimes when I want to do something and it doesn't turn out well the first time, that's just because that wasn't the right time for me to do it. See, I'm trying to get this to there. See how those look like two flowers on the ends there? Almost. Sort of, kind of. Okay. Oh, that's what I meant to buy. Darn it. All right, well, I'm just going to use the variegated because I think it's going to show anyway. They just use a neutral thread, and I meant to get a thinner brown and a thinner like orangey and a peachy color, like a size 12 or a size 8, and I didn't. See, I didn't make myself a list. So there you go. Oops. Is that what I want? Hold that thought there. Yes, that's what I want. Okay. I know there's a lot of moving around. I'm moving this around a lot, and I hope that doesn't like disturb you immensely. It's the only way I can really work on it. The only way I see of really working on it. Let me know if you want to give this a try. I mean, if you want me to show you how I did the gathering and stuff, I'm willing to do another one and do it all on camera. I just figured I didn't know who might be interested in this, who might not. This thread isn't being seen at all. I probably could have used a different color and not waste my variegated threads on this. But all right, now I gotta fix this one too. And not stab myself. Don't stab myself. All right, I'm going to stop using my variegated thread because you're really not seeing it and I'm wasting it. We all know how Martha feels about wasting her threads. Okay. But I have to tell you, this needle goes through everything. Oh man, I just love this. Okay, I gotta find another thread to use. That's an 8. I use that. I tried to use a 5. I could not even get my 5 through some of the fabric I was trying to make ruffles out of. Couldn't even get it through it. I was like, forget this. Oops. Okay. So then after we went to Joann's, we went to a grocery store because we figured, you know, it's the 4th of July Independence Holiday weekend here this week. Well, I think it's Tuesday. But, you know, people will be celebrating all weekend. And it'll be very crowded on Friday at the grocery stores. So we opted to do our grocery shopping 2 days earlier than normal. And that threw me all into a tizzy too. Tony's like, do we need this? Do we need that? I'm like, I don't know. We usually go like on Fridays and either Monday or Tuesday. And today's Wednesday and it just threw me off. I'm like, I think we have enough of this. I think we have enough of that. But we ended up going, so, and getting a few things. Oh, look at that. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, let's see. What else can I put on here now? Is that too big? I feel like that's really wide. I'm not sure I love that. I like that though. What else can I put down here? Can I twist this? Don't think so, but I could do that. Yep. You just have to decide like where it works and stuff it on there. I don't like that see, I used a neutral color thread on that. Don't like that it shows. Needle. This needle is probably overkill for what I'm doing on this thing, but as I said, it goes through just about everything. Except the needle would go through the other fabric, but the thread wouldn't go through. And then the other thing I will link to is Artistic Artifacts, because that is where I got the fabric bundle, the hand-dyed fabric bundle, where all of this stuff, that's not hand-dyed, but it was wrapped in that. This, that, where all of these fabrics came from was Artistic Artifacts. So I will link that below as well. So if you want to do one of these projects and you feel like you want to like get some felt from Kellyanne, or you want to get a fabric bundle from Artistic Artifacts, they both are online stores. Artistic Artifacts is an actual online store, not an Etsy store. Okay, come on. And you're just tacking these things down. Okay. Oh, I love that wool in there. All right, I want something else from here. Can we twist this? We can. See, when I twist it, this is all I do. You know what I want to use? Hold on. That's really big. I want to use this. This is flour sack towel that's just tea dyed. I want to use that. I want to use that first. All right, this is way over here, so I'm going to... Ah! I didn't say I had a plan for this. I just said I was giving it a shot, but I am absolutely loving the way this one came out. And I think I'm going to do a larger one as well. Because why not? Bigger, more stuff can go on it. Although the hearts that I've seen in the photographs don't look that much bigger than this. Where are we? 37 minutes. Ay, ay, ay. This is definitely going to need a part 2. And the other thing you could put around the outside is some beads as well. If you didn't want to do all French knots, beads would be really pretty. I was craning my head around because I was looking at Tony, who's out on the deck right now. Where did you come out at? That man, I don't know. He likes to do activities in the hottest part of the afternoons on a summer day. Just, no, thank you. I think I'm just going to knot these and take it wherever I'm going next with whatever I'm doing next, unless it's one thing right next to another. Oops. Oh dear. Sort of cut that kind of wacko. Oh yes, yes, yes. What are we doing next? Okay, what else have I got? Do I want to put some of this in there? Where's the beginning? I don't want the green. And how would I do it? This is a very fallish looking. All right, I'm going to chop that off. And I'm going to chop off this green part. We'll see how good of a job I did spinning this yarn if it doesn't all come unwound now. This even has a little bit of sparkle in it, so yay. I want that. I don't know. I think I'm going to use this. I think I'm going to use this right down here. Oh yes. Yes, please. Yep, 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 yep. That is fitting the bill. It's exactly what I want. Could have used a lighter neutral thread for this, but I don't think that went up through there. I guess this really is easier to hold together having it in a hoop. But it's not necessary. So where did I leave off with my story? We went grocery shopping, got a few groceries, got out of there, and then Tony wanted kava for lunch, which is like Mediterranean food, but it's to go. I mean, you can eat there, but they have like falafel, and they have spicy chicken, and they have lots of different things. We just get the vegan stuff, the lettuce, the rice, the lentils, corn, tomatoes with onions, cucumbers. That's about all I get. They have hummus. I make my own here at home. Now, is more than one of these too much? Yes. I really like this, but well, that could work. Maybe I go around this way. Pick that up. Go around here, and around there, and around that. Well, that's fun. Or do I want to save that for the next one? What else do I have? I have this one. Oh, I like that. Pulling threads. Yeah, I like that. Let's see. Yeah, I like that one. Okay. Let me know if there's something that I've popped on here that you liked better. I feel like it blends in too much over there. I feel like this light-dark combination here looks really good. Okay. If there's something I popped on here that you would have kept, let me know. Let me know your opinion. As I said, what I don't use in this one, I am making another one. Probably same colorway. Maybe I'll add something else into it. I don't know. Come on. That's the fabric that was giving me a hard time before as well. I want you to be... I don't want that white thread, neutral thread that I used to show. But I have a feeling because I stabbed it the wrong place. Should have stabbed it in between the ruffle. See if I can do that here. Yeah, it's almost like this needle has a barb on it. Sometimes it works really well, and sometimes it just gives me grief. Like Corinne's Reginald needle, her beading needle she named. Okay. Alrighty. And see, it doesn't take a lot of stitches to get it on there. You're just tacking it down. Alrighty. I think I need a couple of little more things. I just don't know what. Maybe something small up here, but I don't have anything small left except, unless I use some of this. But I don't want wool right next to wool. That doesn't look right. Might do that though. Get off. You can't all be a part of this. I'm going to cut that right there. And I'm just going to couch that down. Where's my, I had another needle up here. There it is. I don't think I can get this thread through there. Maybe. I'll give this a shot, and if I have to change needles, I will change needles. I think it was just that fabric was giving me a hard time. Oops. And of course, you don't have to stay in one colorway. You can make it whatever colorway you want. Like this would be really pretty to put up during the fall. What I'd probably do is get another hoop for it. And put it in the hoop. And maybe put some lace or something around the outside edge. Maybe not. Don't know. And put it back on it. Of course, I'd get rid of all this excess fabric. But it won't go to waste. It'll go in my little pile of, you know, strips of fabric to use for the next time. You could make one for spring. You could make one for summer. Really pretty yellows and greens, maybe. Good Lord, Martha. I'm going to try this other needle. Sorry for the top of the head gray-haired shot. Yes, I know. I have a needle threader. Yeah, I know. I'm not using it. Okay. I just want to get this sort of done. Fini. Trying to make it last to the very little end over here. Tucked in underneath these ribbons. See it? Looks like a little rattlesnake tail is what it looks like. There. Okay. So I've got that. Oops. So what I'm probably going to do is use these three for the French knots. Yay. Oh, I'm excited now. Okay, I need something else. Sort of up in this area. I just don't know what. I think that's it. I think that is going to be it. Yep. Because I don't really have anything else that I think I used all my bits. Let's see. Do I want to put one of those on? Could do that. No, I'm really liking the gathered fabric. would work. I know, it's not very vegan of me to have this deer skin, but I used to make flute wraps and use the leather for the straps. That was before I went vegan. So there's that. Oh, I think I'm going to be making a few of these. Have I mentioned that? Did I lose my needle? Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened to the other needle either. The pointy, weird, barbed one. I'm going to have to take the other needles out of that package and see if they're all barbed like that too. Because that's... What did I do with it? Sorry, I know I keep... Look at this. It's buried in this wool. Can you see that? It's buried in the wool. If I'd grabbed that wool... You're going over there in the needle book. If I had grabbed that wool and stuck my... Like, grabbed it to pick it up, I would have jabbed that needle right in my hand. Should have used my little magnet to find it, but I had no idea where to look. Okay. Now, the ones that I've seen, the pictures that I've seen like really thick, like that really fat blanket yarn and stuff like that. And I looked at some of that in Joann's today, and they had some that were on clearance. But I wasn't going to buy, it's like one colorway. And what if I don't make more than one or two of these in a colorway and I have that big skein of yarn sitting around and, oh, this needle does not want to go through this. And I don't use it again, you know? Like, I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I should have. All right, let's see if we can do this. Oh, whoa. Oh, this might not work. I just need to jab it a few times. Just, nope. That is not going through there. So we are not going to use that. I'm going to go back to that other piece of gathered fabric that I have. Oh, please. Sorry, guys. I'm struggling here. I get so excited, and I know I'm near the end of the time for the video. Yes, 54 minutes. Okay, the next video what I will do is I will start my French knots, and as I'm finishing it up, I'll save some for doing during the video. And there. See, this was meant to be. That's what belongs there. And we will talk about this. And I don't know if the ones that are made in the Kate's Cloths classes, that's hard to say, if she must tell them, you know, how to finish them off and stuff, but that's not visually available in the photos that I've seen. And of course I can't take a class because she's in the UK and I'm in the USA. And so I'm just going to finish it off the way I think that I would do it. I mean, you could cut it out this would be really pretty in a shadow box kind of frame. But I think it's pretty right in the hoop. I mean, like I said, you'd have to clean it up a little. Maybe put it back on it. Trim the edges down and all that. Okay, I think I keep messing with it. Oh, that's pretty right there. I've got to do that, right? All these fun baubles. I've got to do that. I mean, heck, how can I not do that? Oh, thank goodness the AC came on. Now, if you don't have this kind of yarn, find other materials. Look in your old ribbons. Gather some lace. Pull out whatever yarn you do have, double it up, triple it up, quadruple it up, and use that. Pull out some chenille. Speaking of pulling out. Oh, I thought I pulled the thread right out of the needle. Pull out, what was I saying? Chenille pipe cleaners, if you have any stashed away that you've used for other projects. Or just gather tons and tons of fabric strips. And there's different ways to gather them, as you've seen. Some will twist and sort of like make their own design as they are, as you're gathering them anyway. That's what happened to me. Some of them just twisted and did their own thing, and I was like, cool, okay, I'm all for that. I want that to stick up a little bit, so I'm gonna stick another thread right behind there, another stitch. Let that stick up. I'm gonna stick a couple more stitches in this wool felt as well, just to make sure it stays on there. Not wool felt, but that's the other thing you could use. Use felt strips and gather those. What else could you use? Ribbon. Like, I found this ribbon too, and I'm going to gather that and use it in the next one. It's a shiny. That's the only one I found in the basement, though, in my stash. So maybe the next time Joann's has ribbon on sale, I'll go there and see if there's any more shiny stuff if I can't find any more down in my basement. I mean, I just went shopping in my basement because I have so much crap down there from all the things I've done in the past. I mean, I have literal those big 55-gallon bins or whatever they are. I don't know if they're 55-gallon, but those big clear bins you can get. I have probably 12 of those in the basement with stuff, fabric, yarn, fiber, bells, so much crap, and crafts that I've made and not done anything with. So, okay, so that's what it looks like. There it is. That's what it looks like up close. Hopefully that's not coming across blurry, because a few videos ago I zoomed in and everything was terribly blurry. So I'm not doing that anymore. All right, I'm going to start the French knots. I'll work on that tonight. And as I'm finishing that French knot thing, and maybe some beads, I don't know, maybe not. But as I'm doing that, I'll come back and do whatever the second part of this video will be. It might be a short one, might be a long one, I don't know. If I add anything else, I'll point it out tomorrow. I'm back. This is being put on the end of this video. It is a finish, almost. I'm not totally 100% done. However, Sorry, rearranging the chair and everything else. Now, I have a needle here. Thought I had two. Lovely. Okay. Anyway, this is how far I've gotten. I'm going to bring it up a little closer, but keep it in the light. I hope that you can see everything I've added. Too many knots. And I will tell you what I will do, but first let me point out a couple things. I added this shiny ribbon because it was calling to me. So I added that up there. I have to stitch it down a little bit so those threads don't show. One of the things I will do next is I will not use embroidery floss or crochet cotton or any of that stuff to do the gathers in these objects. I will use regular sewing thread, hand sewing, hand quilting, machine quilting, something strong enough to hold everything together, but I won't use the thicker threads again. I added a little more fuzz around some things, a little more in here with that wool, and I did a ton of knots. Now I've not finished this corner yet. I was going to come back and do that with you. I think I have just about everything else filled in. I hope it's showing. I guess I could zoom in just well, I'll bring you down because zooming in doesn't seem to work for me. I'm going to bring you down just a teensy more there. Okay. So I hope everything shows well. My lighting is not spectacular today, but that's okay. All right. So I'm actually going to lower that lamp just a little because when it shines directly in my eyes, it really messes with my eyes and sometimes gives me a headache. All righty. So I'm going to finish. Now that is fabric from this manipulated fabric here. I did stitch that down a little bit. Oh, and I also used some tiny bullion knots. I think that's showing pretty well. If it's not coming up all blurry, I hope this is not going to show up all blurry. I'm just checking the actual iPad because, yeah, because I'm sorry. Let me try and fix you. I'm really not happy with the camera angle at this moment. Okay, I think we can work with that. I need to stay on camera, but I need to also be able to work. And I don't want it to come out blurry because I had to delete a whole section of one of the previous videos on the needle book because it came out way too blurry. Like a whole long section, which is why that was missing out of that video. Okay, now I just have to decide which threads I want to use in here, and I think I'm going to use this bright gold. Okay, things I've learned. One of the things I learned was that the thicker this thread is, the better off you are. I don't know where I lost my other needle at. I hope I put it in the needle book and didn't drop it on the floor somewhere between the living room and the bedroom last night. Oh, I should have done this beforehand, right? Yes, of course I should have. Hold that thought. Sorry. Here's my regular scissors. Together? Me? No, I'm not. Did you expect that? I hope not, because you'll be sorely disappointed each and every time you tune in. So, but I don't have a lot of time to mess with this. So, who knows? More editing ahead, probably. Come on. Okay. Now, I did chop up I chopped up one long video into separate videos, shorter videos, except this one will be probably the longest. Ugh. See, that's the only problem with needle threaders is that you actually have to pull 2 thicknesses of thread through the needle instead of 1, which makes it extremely harder on me. But that's okay. It is what it is. All right. I learned that working in the hoop wasn't so bad. I have to see. No, I don't need one there. Although it is a little awkward for me, it wasn't terrible because when you're doing things like this, like the French knots or bullion knots, you're not fighting the fabric being floppy. So at least there's that. I learned that I will use sewing thread to gather any of my fabric ribbons, etc. in the future, and not use embroidery floss, embroidery or crochet thread. And I learned that the thicker the thread is for these knots, the less work you have to do. I worked probably 4 hours on this, maybe-ish. Maybe more. Let's see. 7, 8, 9, 10. That was 4 hours. And I worked on it probably an hour and a half before that. So 6.5, 7 hours? No, 4, 5.5. 5.5 or 6 hours. Just on the knots. That wasn't even sewing down the fabrics or gathering the fabrics. So yeah, but for a 10-hour project or 12 hours, however long you take, it's a fun project. I am loving it. I am so happy with this. I don't know if anybody else is, that impressed by it, but I impressed myself. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. But like I said, I would use sewing or, I would use a strong, like a quilting thread, machine quilting or hand quilting thread. You can get those, I believe, at Walmart. I know you can get them at Joann's. Use your coupons, always. I'm a big coupon advocate. And then at the end, I want to show you, I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of flipping back and forth because I'm not using the right needle. And why did you have to get involved? Thank you. Get out of here. Go away. What else? I gotta quit saying and so. I say those a lot. Too much, overused. What else? I'm thinking. I didn't get to sleep until 2 o'clock last night, so I'm a little discombobulated. Not because I was working on this. I think I drank my decaf green tea way too late at night. And, tea is a diuretic, so. Oh, come on. I didn't hold on to my knot the correct way. How not to knot. Is this going to work? Nope, but I'm going to make it work. I'm just going to put another knot in here and cover that up. And I apologize if you can hear my stomach. It's making all kinds of noises. I don't know why, but, we have these things sometimes. They happen. So I apologize for any noises that are untoward that you can hear. Okay, and then I just have, I don't want to do way under this flower, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of bring this through here. Oops. I don't want to flatten this, I say flower. I don't want to flatten it totally out, but I do want to sort of cover up that space that's showing underneath there. Now it still has texture and it's still sticking up here with the wool underneath it, but you can't see a lot of bare fabric underneath, like this fabric. Okay. Now I have to go up here, and this, I may have to edit some of this out because I don't want this video to be over an hour long either, which is what I ran into with the other video, which is why it got chopped up, and I think 3 parts is enough. But also, if I rush, I mess up, which is obvious because that's what happened already. Okay, I'm going to stop with this color and join in another color here. Yes, so if you have tapestry wool or anything like that, perfect for this project to fill in all this space. The other thing that I will tell you is that I would not, see, I've got brown, I've got that color. I'm going to use the light. Yeah. I would take more of this fabric to the edges. This, especially this side over here, just too many knots. I would have brought fabric around here, or yeah, don't leave yourself that many knots to do. It's not necessary. It's not. The knots are not necessary. So I do have 2 more things to show you, but they may have to be the start of the next video. I'll have to see. And the next video will be similar, a similar project, but a different project. Similar technique, same technique. I think. My mind is kind of cranking here. But it'll be different color scheme and different shape. I'll leave it at that. In case it doesn't work. All right, let's see. I need to come over here and get, oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch of this left. I didn't think I left myself this much. Whoopsies. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off, finish these knots because it's going to take me longer than I think. And I will, longer than I thought, I should say. And I will bring you back when I get the last knot done so that I can show you my plan of what to do with this. I'll be right back. All righty. Sorry for the rocking. Every time I push the button, it rocks the camera stand and you wave back and forth for a minute or so and then you're good. All right, I have finished. Now, I'm going to put that over there before I lose that one as well. Okay, so there is the finished project, although it's not really finished, is it? What am I going to do with it now? That is the question. Well, I could trim the fabric around the hoop and glue it down like this. I would leave enough, just enough to glue inside. I could cover the back with a piece of felt or something like that. I've seen people use sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape on the inside and, you know, fold their fabric down and then put maybe another piece of sticky tape on and put felt or flannel or something on the back. I don't think I'm going to do any of that. And this is the only hoop of this size that I have at the moment. So until I can figure out some funding to get more hoops, that I might do this and put them in permanently and hang them up, because I think that would be really beautiful. And this isn't very centered on here either. Just, I know that. So I would have to do a lot more work centering it on the hoop before I did that. However, I went shopping in my basement and I have some things to show you, but I have to put something else aside first. Oh, sorry. Oh, bent over. That's always a task in itself. I am going to take this out of the hoop. And the next time, I'm so frugal with fabric. Like, I know any of this fabric that I cut off, I will use as scraps. So I would iron this out. Iron it all out because it is stretched now. Use my steam iron to iron that out. Isn't that pretty? You could put this, you could cut it out here, fold that under, and stitch this onto a canvas bag. You could put it on a pouch, make a pouch with it. You could put it in a box frame, like a shadow box frame. You could bead around this now. I could. You can't because this is mine. I could bead around it now. These are just all ideas that I've been coming up with. However, I went shopping in my basement and I knew that I had canvases down there. And I have a pack of 8x10 canvases. Now, you've seen these canvases before if you watched my video where I show some of the photographs that I've taken, and I mounted them on canvas. And what I did was I put Mod Podge all around here. I painted the edges black on all of them. I should go get one and show you, but I won't because then I have to stop the camera again. And I painted the edges black and I Mod Podged it, printed my photographs out on regular copy paper so that they looked good enough, like a medium weight, not a heavy weight, not a thin, cheap one, but a medium weight copy paper. Mod Podged this, put the photograph down immediately. This will not work with photograph paper. And then I Mod Podged over the photograph after it was dry. And I'll tell you, that was done about 8 or 10 years ago. So yeah, it worked and they're not fading. So anyway, now these canvases I think already have gesso on them, which I don't care about. I'd rather have the ungessoed ones, but there is enough here that I could glue it down once it's ironed. I could glue it down, or I could, well, I think glue is the only way I could get that down on the edges because there's not enough really on the bottom for me. See, that's where I didn't measure well beforehand. I'll flip it over here. There's not enough to really pull it around and staple in the back and have it be centered. So I could use a hot glue gun or fabric glue, double-sided sticky tape. Any of those things would work. I wouldn't trust the double-sided sticky tape. However, on the next one, if I want to use one of these frames, what I would do is make the top and bottom wider, give myself more fabric, and then I'll flip it over here again. I would turn it over here and I would staple it. I would staple this side, then pull the bottom up and the top up, and I would staple it on with a stapler. Of course, none of my staple guns work because Tony took them and we have the wrong kind of staples in them and one of them broke, and yeah, don't let your man take your stuff. It never works well. Anyhow, so fabric glue may be the route that I have to take. However, then I found this, which is very old. It's several years old, like probably more than 7 years old. But anyway, they still make these without the denim. You can get a square. This is a flat. It doesn't have the frame on it. The only problem with this is, then how do I hang it? What I'd probably have to do is put a command strip on the back, the kind that has Velcro. And then the other side of the command strip is the other part of the Velcro. You've probably seen them on commercials. So then you take the sticky off and you hang it on the wall where you want it. And then if you want to remove this, supposedly you can remove this without tearing your wall apart, because This side is Velcro, and then the side against the wall is Velcro, and you just press it. It's a weird Velcro. It's like very weird. But that was an 8-inch hoop. And 8 by 8, I could very easily fit that on there and make it work. So Tony is out seeing our horse Blue, and he has to pass by a small Michael's while he's coming back home. So he's going to stop and see if he can buy this kind of canvas frame with the frame in it, and in the 8 by 8 measurement, and I would have enough, I think, to fold. Yeah, I might not, and not have it be centered, but anyway, and see if that'll work. And if not, I could always put it on this one and glue it down somehow. The other thing, see, it won't fit on here. That's just not, see, it overhangs the edges. If I put it that way, it would overhang. Ooh, that would just fit. That would just fit with nothing really around it. I don't know what size this is. I'll have to measure it. But I have this other flat canvas. Canvas. It just barely fits. I think I really like the hoop idea. This one is, oh, it says on the back, Martha, 5 by 7. That's a 5 by 7. But it's just not quite big enough. And again, I have that problem with how do I hang the flat canvas. So we're going to see if the 8 by 8 works. If that'll leave, if I left myself enough, I have enough up here, but I didn't leave myself enough down here because I didn't center it well. Because all I was focusing on was this part here. So that is going to be my next part of this project, is to figure out how to mount it. However, I'm going to start a new one. And my idea is to make something for all of the holidays that happen where a flag is involved. And there I go bending over again. I'm trying not to moan. While I was downstairs, I happened to find these. I've been looking for these for 3 months. They're brand new. I haven't even used them yet. They're old. I've had them for several years. But anyway, so red ribbon, blue ribbon. That doesn't belong there. White ribbon. Oh, that's off-white. Blue strips, blue stars, red fabric, more blue stars, little tiny ones, more blue fabric, more vibrant, and white fabric. And some netting for texture. I think that would look kind of cool if I can figure out how to gather it. This stuff's going to be hard. I mean, I would have to take that and like sew through the bunchy part to get it to gather, because I don't think I can get a string to gather that. But look at that texture. So my brain's a moving, and I'm thinking, if I put that on this, now I don't want to have to sew through this. Besides that, I couldn't because the frame is here and there would be a border. I could fix that. I could just cover this with a fabric, like a white fabric, say. Say I covered this with a white fabric, right? Cover that. Then the border would be white, and I could see if I could stitch through the canvas, but I have a feeling my hands would not be very happy, although there might be an experiment with this coming up. So stay tuned. So I want to say thank you for being here during this adventure with me. I cannot tell you. I mean, maybe I'm crowing a little too much, but I'm so freaking happy with this. I really am. I just love it. I love it. Again, I would put fabric way closer and just leave little spots like down here for knots, and then maybe over here, and then maybe somewhere up in here and here. And I would have fabric way covering more of this in the next one. I'll see you on the next one, whatever that might be. Thanks everybody for being here. I love you all. Happy crafting. Bye.